What do you do with leftover strawberry tops? You make strawberry syrup. It'll be perfect to use in strawberry lemonade, on top of ice cream, or on top of cheesecake. Let's get it started. I'm going to cover these strawberries with water. Now I've covered the strawberries with water and I'm going to bring them to a boil. Once they come to a boil, I'm going to let them simmer for about 10 or 15 minutes just so we can extract all the goodness from the strawberry tops. In the meantime, I'm going to wash up my jars and get all those things ready for when I'm ready to jar them up. So while the strawberries are coming to a boil, I'm going to go ahead and wash up my jars. That means I'm going to examine the jars for any nicks or cracks, anything like that. Check out my rings just to make sure the jar rings don't have any rust or anything like that on them. Get out 5 new lids and just wash all that up and have it ready. And then also the different things that I use, such as the funnel, the jar lifter, those kind of things. I'll wash those up and have those ready to go as well. Now I'll put the diffuser in. It sits on top of the jars and it just kind of helps keep them from tipping over. It also adds some heat to the canning process. And then I like to sit my jar rings on top. It just helps them to stay nice and clean while it's doing its thing. So I've got it turned on now and it's going to come to a boil, and I'm going to let it boil for about 10 minutes just to make sure the jars are nice and clean. And in the meantime, I'm going to check on the strawberry tops. So the strawberry tops are boiling, so now I'm going to turn them down and let them simmer for about 15 minutes. We want to extract all the goodness, and look at that nice rosy color. I strained the strawberry tops out and discarded them, and I had quite a bit of juice left. Then I measured out 8 cups of juice to use to make the syrup. I think I'm going to end up with more than the 5 I originally thought. Now we're going to add 1 cup of sugar for each cup of juice. Once I add the sugar, I give it a good stir. Then I add a 2-inch strip of lemon peel. The lemon peel just imparts a bit of flavor to the strawberry syrup. And here's the thing, I'm really trying to move towards a no-waste kitchen, so using the strawberry tops to make the syrup helps me to do that. I got distracted and the syrup was boiling away, so I turned the heat down and skimmed off some of the foam. Then I let it simmer for about an hour. I wanted to reduce the syrup, meaning I wanted it to cook down to about 1/4 less liquid than I currently had. I looked at where the liquid started in the pot and eyeballed it as it cooked down. Then I added 2 tablespoons of bottled lemon juice. And bottled lemon juice is important. Fresh lemon juice may not be quite as acidic as you need it to be. I'll get my bands out, have them sitting here ready for me to grab. Diffuser out. And now let's get the jars out. We want to put hot syrup into hot jars. I did prepare a couple of extra jars for just in case. Now you really should use a ladle to fill the jars, but for some reason I couldn't find my larger ladle and I was getting impatient, so I poured the syrup into the jars from the pot. This is not a good idea. As you see, I bumped one of the jars and could have made a real mess, so don't do that. And for most syrups, jams, and jellies, leave about 1/2 inch headspace for pint jars. This allows bubbles to escape and for proper sealing of the jars. Next, I'm going to wipe the rims of the jars with vinegar. This removes any product that might have gotten on the rim, which could interfere with sealing. Then I take a magnetic lid lifter and apply new clean lids to the jars. I'm old school, so I still like to place my lids in hot water before applying them to my jars, but current theory says that is no longer necessary. The lids just need to be clean. The processing takes care of everything else. When I apply my bands, I just put them on finger tight. I don't crank them, just finger tight, so the bubbles can release and the syrup can bubble and boil as needed. Then into the water bath they go. Once the jars are inside, I put the diffusing rack on top of the jars and make sure it's nestled on snugly. Then I put the lid on and set it to canning. Once the water comes to a full rolling boil, I'll start the timer. So now that it's at a full rolling boil, the processing starts. I'm going to let it process for 10 minutes and then I will turn it off, let it cool down a little bit, then I'll remove the lid and I'll take the jars out and set them on the counter and let them sit overnight. So I'll let this sit for about 10 minutes with the heat off. That way it's not bubbling like crazy, and we'll get the diffuser out. Now we will get the jars of strawberry syrup out. Look at that rich red color. Oh, one of them sealed already. Did you hear that little pop? That lets you know that's what's happening. And that's what you want to listen for, that little pop. That lets you know. Whoop, there's another one. There goes another one. I don't know if I said this or not, but when I put the jars in the water bath canner, I make sure they're covered with at least 2 inches of water. And then I put the diffuser rack on top of them, and that just kind of helps to evenly distribute the heat throughout, so from the top down. And then I put the lid on, and then When it comes to a full rolling boil is when I start timing the processing. And then I always set the timer on the microwave, and then once it's processed for 10 minutes, for this size jars, for pints, you process it for 10 minutes. And then I might even let it process an additional minute. And then I get them out and I set them here. And I'm going to let these sit here overnight. And I'm looking at the top of them, and I can see that all of them have sealed. Well, we heard them all pop, but you can also see they're just a little bit concave there on the top. But I'm not going to mess with them. I'm just going to let them sit for now. And then I'm going to drain the water out of the water bath canner. So all I have to do is lift the spigot up, and then the water drains out. I don't have to worry about trying to lift a heavy pot full of water. I can just let it drain that way. There might be a little water at the bottom that might get like here below the level of the spigot, but it's such a small amount that I can lift it easily and pour that out. But while the water is hot like this, all I got to do is just open the spigot and let it drain. This video is brought to you by Aprondiva. Pretty and practical, we believe that an apron can be a homemaker's best accessory. Visit us at www.aprondiva.com. Now, something that I want to add about the Ball Fresh Tech Water Bath Canner and Multi-Cooker is that it is just that. It is a water bath canner and a multi-cooker. So I can use it for more than one purpose. And that's the nice thing about this particular pot. I have made chili in it, I've made chicken broth in it, and then usually though I use it for water bath canning. But it's very nice that I can use it for multiple purposes. Now the other thing that I want to mention is this. I follow USDA recommended practices for canning, and I start with the Ball Blue Book. I've had this Ball Blue Book for years, and then I added this new and updated Ball and Home Preserving Book to help me on my journey. Don't try to combine recipes, and don't try to do any of that rogue canning that you might hear people talking about. You want to follow recommended guidelines and practices because you don't want to injure your family or friends. Another book that I love is this one, and it is the Complete Book of Small Batch Preserving. I learned about this book from Miss Leona at Ebony, Ivy, and Time in the Kitchen, and I purchased it and I love it. So this is one you can certainly want to pick up. This Ball Blue Book, the old standby, is kind of like the encyclopedia, the old dinosaur. And then of course the new and updated one. I will link the water bath canner as well as these cookbooks in the description box, and then also the canning lids and canning jars and the little canning accessory kit. It's making season, folks. It's making season. So now is the time that you need to be picking up your canning supplies so that you have the things you need to make the preserves you choose to make. To learn how to can tomatoes using the Ball Fresh Tech Water Bath Canner and Multi-Cooker, click the link on the screen.